double check. Okay, so what's going to happen on October 22nd, we will have the actual election. Okay, so it's a full day, and we have registration, and then we have debates, because we're going to have 2 different parties. We're going to have debates. Okay, we'll have a break between, and then we're going to have field work and canvassing, and I'll tell you about what that is. And then we'll have the election. Okay, so the election actually happens all in one day, but in between that, we're going to have some training sessions, okay, about how you can work with that, and we'll give you lots of tips on what you can do to make a successful campaign and to make a successful group. And I believe I'm getting my dates mixed up. I think it's next Friday that we announce the selections of the people who want to be in it. So you can start thinking about it today. Yeah. I just got back to Hanoi last week, and I was gone for 6 weeks, so I'm still kind of like, I went to volunteer for an NGO in Bacan, up north, yeah. So I'm still, as we say in English, wrapping my head around all of my schedule and everything, yeah. Okay, so the goals, what are the goals? Why do we want to do this, right? So we want to give students an opportunity to expand their vocabulary, right? Because you learn a lot of great political vocabulary. And also, if you're doing debates or you're making a slogan, you might learn some great vocabulary and improve public speaking skills, right? Everybody needs public speaking skills, right? It's such a great skill to have in the modern workplace, right? It's one of the best soft skills, right, that you can have. Increase student awareness of the U.S. electoral system, right? It's a little bit confusing. It's a lot confusing, okay? Right, and obviously the U.S. does have a big influence around the world, right? So when we have elections, everybody's talking about it, and it affects a lot of different things. Increase student interest in civic engagement and policy making. Does anybody have an idea what civic engagement means? Look at your face.
I don't know civic.
You know civic.
I don't know civic.
Don't know civic. And you know engagement,
Yes.
getting engaged. Civic is sort of like, almost just like community, like Gomzat or something, like of the community, of the people, like getting involved in sort of the election process and your own government, kind of, yeah, right? Because we say when you vote, right, you're choosing a government, you're making an impact on your country. At least in America, right? Yeah, in America you have a lot of interaction with your government, positive and negative, right? It's okay to say positive things and negative things. A little different than Vietnam, right? And policy making, right? Policies, Chinsak, right? Chinsak? Yeah, policies, yeah. Right, how we make policies, right? Because the way it's supposed to be in a democracy, right, is that we all vote, right? And we tell someone what we want to have the policy be about marriage or work, right? The laws about work or the traffic laws or the environment, healthcare, right? And so we vote for the policies, right? We don't just vote for the president. You also vote for laws or policies. So yeah, it's to get you engaged, get you more aware, right, of the U.S. electoral system. Okay, so the process of becoming president. I did want to go into this a little bit, just because I'm not sure how much you guys know, and it's very interesting. So does anyone know how someone becomes president in the U.S.?
No.
Anyone know? Anyone want to share what they know? If I want to be the president? Okay, yeah.
The first one, I think that she or he should become a presidential candidate. Party
Yeah.
from Democratic Party or Republican Party.
Đúng rồi. Yeah. And how do they become a candidate?
I do not know exactly, but I think that there will be some debate in the inner of the party.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So to figure out the best candidates.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. How many parties do we have in America?
2.
Many.
Many parties.
Yeah, there's a few different parties, but there's really only two major ones. Yeah, we really have a two-party system. Yeah, so in the election, it always just pretty much comes down. We do have 4 candidates for president, but no one really pays attention to the other 2. It's mostly 4, right? And who elects the president?
The people.
The people, yeah. But is it they count all the votes and then that person wins?
I think they should do.
They should, yeah, but it's not actually, okay? So yeah, how much do you know? Okay, what I'm gonna do is show you, this is a really cute, it gives you a little background of becoming president. Oh no, I'm gonna have to do this without the... Oh no. It's too hard to see without the... Let's see. How do I click and drag? Okay. No. Control copy? I always forget how to use. I have a Mac, so I'm not used to using these computers. Did it work? Okay. So the road to the White House. We often call it the road to the White House because it's like a whole journey. I'll just watch my time. So it's pretty amazing, yeah. So every 4 years, right, we choose the next commander-in-chief, right? And it's quite a long process. It's very interesting. Okay, so, yeah. Campaigns. We start with campaigns first, right? The campaign is everything you do to try to get elected. You run a campaign to get elected, right? To do something. You can also run a campaign to raise awareness about the environment, right? A campaign is just all the activities you do when you want to accomplish a goal, and you do speaking, or you do fundraising, you do advertising, all these different things. Okay, so candidates start the campaigns a year and a half before the election. A year and a half, right? So the election is November, next month. So they're gonna start, November is what? So they're gonna start in May of 2015. It's crazy, it's so long, right? So they usually belong to the 2 main political parties, Republican and Democrats, and they want to become the party's choice, because you have to be the party's choice, right? You can't have 60, 70 people running for president. Okay, so what they do, right, they travel across the country and they talk to people, right? So they spend a lot of time traveling around to America, giving speeches, talking to people, and also, America has 50 states, right? Sorry, I'm still digesting my lunch. So we've got 50 states, right? And then the way they work in the election is not equal. And I'll explain this. So people will go to the most important states, and they'll really hit hard in those states because they want to get all the votes from that state. And there's 2 really important states, Iowa and New Hampshire, where they have the first votes, kind of. The first primaries. And they're just historically picked that way. It's bizarre, right? So connecting with the voters, right? They give interviews, they put up social media, they have websites, right? Hillary Clinton has a website, Donald Trump has a website. They try to get in newspapers, they want to get their name out there, right? So that everybody knows about them, so they'll vote for me, right? Okay, and then, right, money. They need money. This is where America is very controversial, because I think Donald Trump and Hillary, I don't know how many hundreds of millions, but they spent hundreds of millions of dollars on their campaigns, right, to try and win the presidency. And it's kind of funny, right, that you want to be the president so you can save money for people and help people, and then you spend millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, and other countries actually have a limit. They say you can only spend this much. And so people talk about that a lot, how much money should they get? Because businesses will donate, organizations can donate, right? So if Microsoft wants to donate a bunch of money, they can. Okay, and then, right, so the more money, the more they can spend on travel, right? Yeah, if I only have enough money to go to 5 states, right? It's not as big an impact as if I have money to go to 20 states, right? So they want money, 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 money. Yeah, they need a lot of money. And sometimes they might actually change their views a little bit, right? If this company wants to give me a lot of money and they have a little bit of a different view than I do, maybe I'll lean towards their view a little bit. Yeah, so I can get some money, okay? Okay, then we come to debates. So before we have a candidate, you know, we just have debates, right? Like I want to be president, so I'm raising money, I'm going out there, right? And then we have a debate. These are the very first debates, right? So I think we had, oh gosh, what did we have, 9 or 10 for the very first Democratic debate? I can't remember, right? So yeah, they just go on the stage and they debate, and it's by Democrat and Republican, right? It goes by the parties. Those are our two parties. So they have their debates, and then we see how they do well in the debate, right? So sometimes they do very well. One candidate gets ahead, right? They gain some ground. The other candidates don't do as well. We're trying to get it smaller and smaller, so we have one person to run, right? Okay, and then we have primaries and caucuses. These are the first like mini elections, a little bit, okay? It's very confusing. So what happens is in different states they have these smaller elections, okay, where people vote for which candidate they like. This is called a primary election, and each state does this, right? So they would have their primary election, right? And there's also caucuses. It's just a different form, but it's complicated. Yeah, they're the same thing. They elect a representative who they like, okay, right, yeah, in a primary. So the state's party members cast ballots. And you don't, in America, you don't have to do anything to be a member of the party, right? All you have to do, so when I went to register to vote, right, I checked Democrat. And so I'm a member of the party. I'm not a member of the government, right? It's different. In America, a party is just your association. I just say I believe in democratic values. Yeah, so everyone can be a Republican or Democrat member. It doesn't have the same meaning in Vietnam when you say he's a member of the party, right? Yeah, I don't actually have to do anything, just register, okay? So when they start to get these votes from the primaries, right? And then Iowa, this is the first state where they have the primary election. I don't know why, but they do it before every other state. Iowa and New Hampshire, they have those first, right? And it's really important because that sets the tone. If they pick Hillary or Bernie Sanders, right, it sort of sets the tone for every other state in their primaries. Okay? Super Tuesday, this is the day in March when most of the other states have their primaries, and we see who do people think is the best candidate, right? Early election. Who do people like? What do they think is the best candidate? So we call it Super Tuesday. Okay, and then the way to win. Okay, so what happens when you win these primaries? Then you get what are called delegates, which are people that go to this big convention, this big meeting, and they actually choose the candidate. So what they do, they don't just count my vote to choose Hillary for the Democrats. They actually use my vote to give delegates. What we call these people, they're delegates, right? They're a member of a party who choose the official candidate, okay, to get the official nomination for president. Here, let me scroll down and it should make sense, okay? This car, keep going, yeah. Okay, so conventions, right? So we have a lot of people run, they raise money, they go out and campaign, they have these debates on the stage, and then people do an early vote, the primary, right? And so if I'm the Democrat candidate, right, and all the people vote for me, what they do is they send other people who represent me, like Daisian, yeah, to the convention, which is a big meeting, and this is where they choose the official nominee, right? Because each party, the Democrats choose an official nominee that they say we support, right? And that's where the other candidates fall off. Like Bernie Sanders fought really hard, but at the convention, right, they chose Hillary. Okay, so we have these big conventions, these meetings, right, where they make it official, right? So they hold the convention, and they decide who is going to be the official nominee, right? The delegates officially choose one candidate, okay? And the nominee chooses a vice president, and then they have an official platform. And you're going to use this too if you participate in elections. Your platform is what you believe. What are your views about the economy, healthcare, education, international relations, right? Like terrorism is a big one for the U.S. Marriage, also like gay marriage, always comes up in the U.S. elections. Where do you stand on that? Lots of different social issues. That's where you pick your platform, okay? So then this is where we have Donald and Hillary. They're officially the nominees, right? They're ready to go, okay? And then, of course, tuning in, right? We watch the convention on the TV, share ideas, they kick it off, okay? Beep, beep, beep. So the campaigns continue, more money. Give me more money. I want to be president. Yeah, and they go. Yeah, because at this point it's really on, right? From really like August to November, they're campaigning. They're out every single day in a different state, a different city, a different speech saying, this is what I believe. This is what I can do for America. This is why you should vote for me. Why I'm better for him than him, right? They have TV commercials, right, that say why I'm a better president than someone else, than Donald Trump, right? They're in the news all the time, spreading the message, right? I mean, and you see, right, if you watch, you know, CNN every 5 minutes, right, it's about the election, right? It's either like Trump or Hillary all the time, right? Okay? Right, maybe even on Facebook, social media, okay? And then we get to, help from friends. This is all just raising money. And then we get to the debates. Right, so there's 3 presidential debates where we just have the 2 candidates. Did anyone see the debate or hear about the debate that was last week? Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah? Whoa, it was insane. Oh my gosh. I was very happy because Donald Trump did a bad job. So I was very happy. Yeah, I'm still terrified about the election, but I think Hillary can do it. But yeah, so we have these debates, right? The vice presidents do 1 debate. The presidents do 3. So I think next week is the 2nd presidential debate. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, we'll see. It should be very, very interesting. Yeah, so we have these debates, right? So lots of pressure. The time is on. And then we come to election day. So lucky for you, you just have to do the election day, right? You don't have to do all the process behind it. But you will do a little bit of campaigning to still say what your beliefs are and what you believe. So on November 8th, right, which is just next month. Oh my gosh, it's almost a month away. So this is where all the people go to vote. Right, November 8th, election day, everybody goes to vote, cast the ballot. Okay, but let's see if where is it here? Okay, yes. Okay, does this explain? Okay, yeah, the U.S. has a time difference, right? Do you guys know about this? The different times, daylight savings. So like California is 3 hours behind New York.
Yes.
Yeah. So because of that, we often don't know who got the popular vote until the day after, who won all the people's votes. But even that, America has this crazy system, okay? It's not just the people vote. It's not direct vote for the people, okay? We have this system called the Electoral College. Okay, and this is very bizarre, and there's a lot of controversy about whether this is good or bad. And they designed it to try and make things more equal, so that bigger states didn't have more power over smaller states, because they wanted to represent everyone equally in the country, right? So that all the views and